By the end of this story, what you heard won't matter. I've killed 14 people, and I will kill more. Smoke billowed from his lips with this confession. Not a single smirk surpassed his features, not even a shadow of guilt or doubt. Had I not been doing this for just shy of 15 fucking years, perhaps my face would have betrayed an emotion. Luckily for me and unluckily for him, I had, so it didn't. We were at, as some would say, an emotional stalemate. He wasn't the first monster I had crossed paths with. In my line of work, it's kind of a fucking guarantee. I've dealt with things that would make SJ Warrior millennials seek lifelong professional help. So, when I was met with the plethora of photos documenting these grisly detailed every single sin this man had commit, my heart felt nothing, and it was the time that I had got to work. Ian Reacher correct. My words were spoken as bluntly as possible. This guy had to be nearly 60s, and I was a female detective, mid-40s. And right now, I not only stood against everything he believed about women, but I also stood between him and his freedom. And let me tell you, this guy was fucked. Ian shifted again. I clearly did state that I would dare speak to him in any voice above a sultry hue. I can only presume that he preferred his women to have. This thought did cause a smile to cross my features. Hell, you do this job long enough, you start to feel just a little more smug in the face. Or worst of the worst. Or perhaps I'm the judgmental asshole, and I can live with that. You know, honey, this story may be easier to stomach by another officer your caliber. His words were an attempt to be kind to me, a service. Gaslighting 101. Predictable. It only made me smirk even wider, fabricated beneath the annoyance and the rage I truly felt. But hey, gotta play the game. If this guy thought that he could get under my skin, I just have to make my presence under his that much more prominent. I leaned forward, fingers gripping the metal of the cuffs. He lunged across the metal table and pulled his arm forward, just enough for him to move half an inch. But that's all it took to show him who was truly in control of the situation. Lucky you, Mr. Reacher. I'm not a cop, not any cop that you've ever met. The last part was true. Technically, I am a homicide detective, but I could promise him that he'd never and would never meet someone like me. However, with my words, he allowed a chuckle to elect as ashes from his allowance hit the otherwise immaculate floor. Well then, sweetheart, you're in luck, because I ain't like any other murder that you've ever met. Oh, Jesus, fuck. It was going to be like that. I stifled an eyeball and allowed a dark brow to raise in questioning, a faint sense of curiosity. I can milk it for the suspects every once in a while, and with that kind of statement, it was clear that Ian really wanted an audience. Oh, how so? My tone back to a cool and even as I allowed myself to settle in, arms folding over my chest. My back hit the cool metal chair. You see, I told you I killed 14 people, and it's true. I told you I'd be killing more, also true. But it ain't my fault, and it ain't up to me. This caused a million different possibilities to pop into my head. A Jesus nut? Some fandom-related bullshit? Video game obsessed? Or just good old-fashioned God complex? Let's find out, detective. Alright, so who is it up to? I indulged him the way you coax a hamster onto the wheel. All it takes is a little bait. I allowed my body language to change, an openness as I unfolded my arms, leaning my elbows against the metal table and inching forward, just for that added pizzazz of, go on, I'm listening. Bingo. He nodded, taking his last long drag of his cigarette, crushing it beneath his foot before matching my body language completely and began his story. I don't know what it is exactly, man, but I suspect it ain't of this world, though. You can call me Detective Nicholas. It ain't what I call you after we're done talking today. I can promise you that. Just like my name is like ash in my mouth now. It don't mean shit. I don't know that man anymore. I nodded at this. Fair enough. I'll let him continue. 5 years back, I was in the army. Did your little police records tell you that? They had, but even if they hadn't, the expert slayings depicted in every photo was enough to deduce that he'd either been a hitman for hire or with the government. By considering 4 of his 14 victims were children, I'm guessing not a whole lot of people put hits on children these days. Only real monsters snuff out the lights of the innocents. Right. So, I had gone overseas in a war I ain't gonna tell you about. Because again, detective, that shit don't matter. What does matter is what I found there. You see, a lot of legends out there, dark shit, not like Americans and their Ouija board bullshit. For the record, the Ouija board was said to be found in China, but who am I to correct this ignorant fuck? This shit was ancient, dangerous, and oh yes, very real. Too real. What's worse is that thing attached itself to me. Ain't even a demon. It's an angel. Or as close to as an angel that you could get in this entirely fucked up world. Now, these angels, they sometimes get weak, as best as I can understand it. They start to be unable to do their job on their own. They need a human vessel, a living heart with a fractured soul. No arguments for me. He clearly was a fractured soul. At least he was self-aware. So, this thing chose me. They seek them out and attach themselves to people in order to get rid of these world of demons. See, the people I was killing, all demons. Half-breeds, part human, part evil. They would have done unspeakable things, worse than death. Shit, you can't even imagine. Oh no, I promise you that. You can't imagine the stuff I've seen. Everything these fuckers are capable of. She showed it all to me. Now my eyes did roll. She? He looked annoyed that I'd even asked. She, this thing, this angel inside of me, is a she. Told me herself. So the picture was pretty clear. A mentally unstable bigot who believed that he was holding some divine parasite. Wonderful. Insanity plea, here we come. My hands rose now to stop him. That was enough. His head shook and his hand reached for another cigarette in the pack near his elbow. He lit it up again and continued. I ain't done yet. I mean, I could go on about the legends and everything I'd seen, but I won't need to. My hand lowered and my brows frowned. Now as I tried to deduce what he was about to say next. Damn it. Okay, Mr. Reacher. You've cast your line, and I bet. And why is that? He smiled now, as if he had already known he'd gotten me. A meaty hand lifted through the salt and pepper speckled strands of his hair, and then he exhaled a long draw of smoke. Because angels need to live through someone who can carry out our work. I'm in here, and she ain't too happy about that. So, she needs another, and she knows what you did to your partner, detective. At his words, I froze. My gaze only spent half a second on my two-way mirror behind his head. My jaw tensed before I could regain composure, and my head shook now, attempting to gain control of this conversation once again. I think that's enough nonsense for one day, Mr. Reacher. His eyes narrowed. Now his head shook slowly, voice gruff, and softer than I'd even thought it possible. Though, right not, Emma. Shot him in the head. Made it look like a suicide, huh? One would say the fractures of a soul, don't it? How do you know my first name? I'd never given him my card, never stated it, and yet, here he was, coaxing me, baiting me with information he'd been withholding. This guy was good, but god damn it, if I wasn't better. I stood now, hands on the metal table, as I stared daggers at him, my voice impossibly low. I don't know who you're talking about, but guess what? It doesn't matter. You're going away for a long time, you piece of shit. He laughed now, leaned forward and reached his cuff hand out to grab my wrist, impossibly hard. I winced. It's already done. I ain't shit now. She's chosen you. Good luck, Emma, Nicholas. You're gonna need it. Suddenly, the room was alight with 3 officers swarming in, wrenching his grasp from my wrist and moving to haul him away. I remained stoic, frozen where I stood and forcing elongated breaths to steady my nerves. I needed to get the hell out of there. Maybe it was time for a lunch break. Leaving the precinct drew a shaky breath from my lungs. How in the actual fuck could Ian Reacher have known about my partner? How could he have known what I'd done to protect myself, my career? That son of a bitch knew the what not event most expert of cops could have guessed. Yes, I killed my partner, but only out of necessity, because I had to. After all, when your partner finds out that you've been planting evidence on almost all of your cases for the past 5 years and threatened to go to the chief, what other option do I have? I was doing what was right for me. Ian couldn't understand that. Fuck, he shouldn't have even known that. As I attempted to mentally hash out the logical reasons as to how a stranger knew my deepest and darkest secrets, I was drawn to a sudden stop, as if I was paralyzed. My feet stopped moving on their own. My head snapped to the side without my go-ahead, and it was then I saw it. Him. A teenager, walking with defiance. Only the most angsty of teens could. Except, there was something wrong with his eyes. They were black, soulless, and when he saw me, our gaze locked. He too stopped. He smiled wide, impossibly so, black ooze dripping from under the stretched lips. A challenge, I realized. It ran, and then my body moved after him, down a dead-end alley. It took one shot from my police-issued firearm, and the demon was gone. See, I really haven't been forthright on why I'm telling this story. So here's the truth, the short version of it. This angel is real. She has powers to take over your mind and your body and make you commit unspeakable things against your will. There's no guarantee that these people are demons. Only what the angel tells you, what she shows you. I don't know if she's doing the world a favor or if she's feeding off the souls of those most valuable, vulnerable, and innocent. But I have my theories. That's why I am killing myself tonight. It's my only chance that I have of taking this son of a bitch down with me. Except I think she knows. And I think she's stopping me from truly getting rid of her. You see, I don't want to type this, any of this, but my fucking fingers won't stop typing. If any of you are reading this that have a fractured soul, I am so very, very sorry. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you would like to see more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I have got a lot of content and a lot more coming, so just know that. Make sure to check out the links in the description as well, like Twitter, Instagram, everything like that, you know. You know that whole just shit. But with that being said, stay safe, stay scary, and I'll see you in the next one.